Hey guys, what's good? This is Matto MTL, and today we're gonna go and get a haircut because this thing is out of control. Yeah, it needs to be tamed. And also, we're gonna try and explain some terminology for sneakerheads and resellers so you guys can understand what the hell people are talking about when they're selling you shoes. So without further ado, let's get going. Hair really is out of control today. Alright, so we got our sweater change just so that we don't see all those loose hairs and everything when we want to talk after. Got a white winter coat because it's freezing outside today. Got the new regime pants on. You already know. And some Raf Simons Oswegos that I just picked up literally yesterday. I don't know if I'm gonna do an unboxing video for it. Comment below if you guys wanna see an unboxing video of the Raf Simons Oswegos. Otherwise, let's get on the road. Let's go get our haircut and explain some sneaker terminology.
A few minutes later.
Okay, so we're here, and here's a before, after. It's not too bad, not too shabby. Obviously, you guys can have a hard time seeing this in the light. I'm ultimately trying to grow my hair out, so it's like a little bit of a trim to kind of put everything into proportion again. And yeah, so we're gonna start explaining some sneakerhead terms. So here are two of the main things you guys are gonna wanna make sure that a sneaker has right away before you purchase it. Number one, you're really gonna wanna make sure it says OG or original box. OG box means that this is the original box that these shoes came in. You're gonna get the size tag, the original retail price, and the description of all the colors and possibly some of the materials depending on the sneaker that you're buying on the sticker of the box. This is important if you want to check if they're fake, checking production dates, the retail price, kind of making sure that everything is spelt properly, all that good stuff. The second thing that you're going to want to do is make sure that the shoes come with the original receipt. This is super important when you're trying to weed out fake or replica sneakers. Don't get me wrong, certain fake shoes come with fake receipts. So you're going to have an eye that's kind of trained to looking at the paper, the actual printing of the logo, the ink that's used. There's several different tricks that you're gonna have to kind of internalize when you're looking for these things, and look them up on YouTube. That's like my number one tools is YouTube for checking out real versus fake comparisons. So make sure that you guys check out those videos before you go and buy a shoe and then figure out that it's fake. So with those two things in mind, granted, you don't need both of those things to confirm that a shoe is legit. You can probably do your own legit checks by checking videos, stuff like that. Let's take a look at some of the other terminology that's very important when looking at sneakers. And we're probably gonna do this back at the house because there are so many, I gotta write some of these down. So one of our first words we need to know is add cash or plus cash. Ultimately what this means is that the vendor is asking for you to add cash because the sale or the deal or the trade is in the favor of the buyer rather than the vendor. So ultimately this means, for example, if somebody is selling a pair of Yeezys, like a Yeezy V2 350, trading that for a Power Phase Calabasas, well, they might ask you to add cash because they just want the Calabasas and they want to get rid of their Yeezy 350. But the Yeezy 350 generally is valued higher than the Power Phase Calabasas. So you would ask for one to add cash on top of the Calabasas so that the trade for the Yeezy is about equal. The next thing we're going to talk about that's extremely important is the word Deadstock. Deadstock means brand new, never worn, never even tried on. That the tags are all still in place, that there is the original box, paper, inserts, all that good stuff. It should be completely original as if you had just bought it from Nike.com, Adidas, or wherever you bought your sneakers from. The third term is Grail. When someone says I'm looking for a Grail or I'm searching for this Grail, typically it means that it's a shoe that's highly sought after for that individual. Personally, one of my Grails would be the Dornbecker 8 Jordans. I think those things are fire, they're beautiful, but that would be one of my grails. It's very expensive, it's highly sought after, there aren't that many available, so ultimately the Jordan 8 Dornbecker would be my grail sneaker. There's also the term unicorn. Unicorn is kind of like a lucky coincidence or rare occurrence. You might say that this sneaker is a unicorn because it's a one of a kind, or was a very lucky coincidence, or there was an error on the sneaker, so it's like a unicorn because it's not very common, or was it supposed to happen. So it might be a shoe with certain defects that might sell at a really high price. That's a unicorn because you don't tend to find those at all in Nike massive production, such as the Jordan 1 Gold Toe with that upside down swoosh that I'd seen reselling for crazy amounts of money. That's a unicorn. One of the next terms is also highly subjective. It's heat. When someone says selling heat or trades for heat or I got heat, heat tends to mean shoes or clothing that are highly desirable due to, extraneous factors that create the hype around a sneaker. So this would be limited quantities, great leather quality. So for example, if I was going to sell these Jordan 1 Royals, I would be able to say, generally in the sneakerhead forum, that this is heat because it has great quality materials. The leather here is buttery smooth. The sneaker overall was sold out, so you can't buy it anywhere at retail, and the quality of the materials backs up the hype behind the shoe. So ultimately, hype, stock, and quality of the sneaker tend to feed into what is considered heat. This also brings us to our next term, which is hype. When someone says, I got hype clothes for sale, they typically tend to be talking about Supreme, Bathing Ape, Antisocial, Social Club, Palace, all that kind of stuff. So what is hype clothing? Essentially, it's the commercialization of interest. It's when something becomes interesting simply because influencers and marketing efforts are telling you that it's cool. So what would you say a hype beast is? It's somebody who excessively indulges in purchasing hype clothing. He's somebody who likes something or buys something because a lot of other people like it. So it would be buying clothing for the sake of flexing or stunting on others, or because others like it and it would be highly desirable to others. Ultimately, this is what validates the purchase of a hype beast. Now we're going to get into a few abbreviated terms. The first one is PADS, or PADS. This means passes as dead stock. DS means dead stock, which we referred to earlier, and this means completely new, as if you would have received it directly from the manufacturer or the retailer. PADS, or passes dead stock, means that they may have been worn or tried on or taken out for photos and had the paper scrumpled or something, but it ultimately means that they could look like they were dead stock. When it comes down to rating a condition for the sneaker, it would be 9.8 to 9.9 on 10 in terms of condition. So passes dead stock is a reference to the condition, and usually it means that it looks very, very good. The next one would be VNDS. This means very near dead stock. It would be rated, for example, a 9.5 or a 9.8 on 10. It's not dead stock, which is 10 on 10, but it's very close. So very near dead stock might mean it was worn a little bit more than pass as dead stock. So it might have been worn 2, 3, 4 times and still look pretty great. The next one is WTB, WTS, or WTT. Ultimately, what these mean is want to buy, want to sell, want to trade. It's generally the same thing. It means I want to trade these Jordan 1 Royals for these Yeezy 350 blue tints. That would be a WTT. Or I want to sell these Jordan 1 Royals, or I want to buy these Yeezy blue tints. So another important thing is S/O or H/O. This means starting offer or highest offer. So if I was trying to sell these Yeezy Beluga 350, I might put the starting offer at 300 because I want people to bid up. And you might put a bin, which is BIN. This means buy it now. When you put a buy it now, you might put it very high because you want to see what kind of offers you'll get for your sneaker. So the buy it now would be $500, which would mean I'm ready to let these guys go at $500, no competition to you or another buyer. $500, these are yours. They also might put starting offer, highest offer, and buy it now. Typically, it will go in order. So if someone has a starting offer at $300, they might have received their highest offer so far at $350, and then they will have their buy it now at maybe $500. So the highest offer will probably always figure somewhere in between the starting offer and the buy it now. And the buy it now will probably be very high, and the starting offer will be decently low. Starting offer, here's what I want you guys to start bidding for my sneakers at. Highest offer, here's what the highest bid is so far. And buy it now means I'll get rid of them right away. 500 bucks, they're yours. The next one is swap or size swap. Somebody might want to do a size swap or swap their sneaker for another sneaker. For example, and I had this issue several times, when I got the Yeezy blue tints, I was totally unaware of the sizing for Yeezys because I had never really gotten any before. When I got the blue tints, I'd gone down a half size and I noticed that they ran really, really tight. So what I had to do was put these up for a size swap. You take your sneaker and trade it for the person's sneaker that is actually in your size. It benefits both people. If one person got a size that's too big and one person got a size that's too small, to swap it would just be really quick. Otherwise, there might be a swap in general. So I might want to swap this colorway of the Yeezy V2 for the Belugas. It might just be a preference of taste in terms of the style of the sneaker, the model, the color, but that would be a swap. The next thing we're going to talk about is an EMT. An EMT means electronic money transfer. This is more like placing a direct deposit in the seller's account. So typically to do a direct deposit or an EMT, you're going to have to get the email address from that person who signed up for EMT transfers at their bank to send that email over to you. You're going to take their email, put it in your bank, and do a direct deposit to that email. Once it goes to that person, the EMT has been completed and they're supposed to send your sneakers over. Now, there's a whole bunch of issues that could come with EMT transfers, so I highly suggest doing stuff on PayPal. Otherwise, if you trust the person and you know that they are a good reseller or that they are highly reputable, an EMT might be what they suggest and it might be worth it. But PayPal is ultimately better when you have to protect yourself as a buyer for sneakers that might not have come as they were described or sneakers that might not have come at all to get your money back. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, it would be appreciated if you could please comment, like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that you're one of the first ones to know as soon as I drop a new video. I hope you guys enjoyed my haircut, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and hope you learned something new about sneaker terminology. If there are any other words that you guys want me to cover, leave them in the comment section below, and I'll try and address them in another video. So that's it, guys. Wear your kicks, take care of them. This is Matto MTL. Peace.